Recording in progress. Recording stopped. Recording in progress.
Thank you very much. Allow me to bow to my right and to my left. And having done so, request delegates to observe a moment of silence for prayer or meditation. Please be seated. Thank you very much. Please be reminded, honourable members, that the rules and the processes do apply for this hybrid sitting. And I would like to remind delegates of the rules relating to virtual and hybrid meetings and sittings, in particular sub-rule 21, 22, and 23 of rules 103, which provides as follows: that the hybrid sitting constitutes a sitting of the National Council of Provinces, that delegates in the hybrid sitting enjoy the same powers and privileges that apply in a sitting of the National Council of Provinces, that for purpose of the quorum, all delegates who are logged onto the virtual platform shall be considered present, that delegates must switch on their videos if they want to speak, and delegates who experience connectivity issues are encouraged to use a still photograph for identification on the virtual platform as has become practice over time, that delegates on the visual platform are encouraged to log on with one device only, as logging on with two or more devices further lowers the bandwidth, that delegates should ensure that the microphones on their gadgets are muted and must always remain muted unless they are permitted to speak, that all delegates in the chamber must insert their cards to register on the chamber system, that delegates who are physically in the chamber must use the floor microphones, that all delegates may participate in the discussion through the chat room. And lastly, that in addition, I would like to remind delegates that the interpretation facility is active. Permanent delegates, members of the executive, special delegates, and salary representatives on the virtual platform are requested to ensure that the interpretation facility on their electronic devices are properly activated to facilitate access to interpretation services. Permanent delegates, special delegates, salary representatives, and members of the executive in the chamber should use the interpretation instruments on their desks to access the interpretation facilities. Allow me at this point, honourable delegates, to take this opportunity to welcome the Minister of Water and Sanitation, and likewise welcome permanent delegates, MSCs, and all special delegates to the House, including for those who are virtual. I've been informed that there will be no notice of motion or motions without notice. So that allows us to then move on to the first order. Consideration of a report of Joint Committee on Ethics and Members' Interests on the non-disclosure of members' interests for 2022. Contravention of the Code of Ethical Conduct and Disclosure of Members' Interests. Honourable Portia, Tebogo, Mamorobela. Announcement tablings and committee reports, 2nd October 2023, page 24. Moving on to the the issue of the joint Committee on Ethics and Members' Interest, I now request Honourable M.L. Mushodi to present a committee report.
Thank you very much, Honourable Chairperson. The Joint Committee of Ethics and Member Interest 2022 Register Non-Disclosure. Item 9.23 of the Code of Ethical Conduct and Disclosure of Member Interests prescribes that a Member of Parliament must disclose their register interests annually at the time determined by the Joint Committee on Ethics and Member Interest. Item 9.22 also states that if a member has not registerable interest or nil return must be submitted. The due date for the 22 disclosure of member interest was on the 13th November 2022, Honourable Chairperson. Item 10.11 of the code provides as follows. A member breached the code if a member contravene or fail to comply with the requirement of the provision for disclosing interest. Honourable Chairperson, of the 454 members who are required to submit their disclosure, one member of the National Council of Provinces failed or neglect to submit the disclosure. The member is Honourable Portia Tebogo Mamorobela MP from the NCOP. The committee recommends to the House to impose a penalty in terms of item 10.771 and 2 of the code. Item 10.771 and 2 provides as follows, Honourable Chairperson. The committee must recommend the imposition of one or more of the following penalty where a member breached clause 10.111. One, Honourable Chair, a reprimand in the House. The second one, a fine not exceeding the value of 30 days' salary. Therefore, Honourable Chairperson, the committee recommends that the member be fined a value of equal to 20 days' salary for not submitting the disclosure form for 2022, and that the member be reprimanded in the House. I so table the report, Honourable Chairperson. Thank you, Kialebo.
Malibongwe.
Sorry about that. I was saying that before we proceed to voting, I shall allow provinces the opportunity to make their declaration of vote in terms of Rule 86, if they so wish. And as members know, the maximum for making a declaration, maximum of time allocated is 3 minutes. Any province wishing to make a declaration? I'm sure we can find peace, honorable members, and then learn to move on. No, thank you very much. There being no declaration, we shall now proceed to voting on the question. And the question is that the report be adopted. And now call upon provinces to cast their vote. And when heads of delegations are called upon to do so, they must indicate whether they vote in favor, against, or abstain. And we shall do so in alphabetical order. We'll start with the Eastern Cape. Eastern Cape?
Eastern Cape, yeah, for my chair.
Eastern Cape, we're voting in favor. Free State?
Free State agrees, Chair.
President agrees. Thank you very much. Gauteng?
Gauteng in favor, Chair.
Voting is voting in favor. KwaZulu Natal.
iKwaZulu Natal yasekwa
KwaZulu
umndeni.
Natal supports. Limpopo.
Limpopo vote in favor, Honourable Chairperson.
Yeah, Limpopo is voting in favor. Mpumalanga.
Pumalanga agrees, Honorable Chairperson. Thank you.
Mpumalanga agrees. Thank you very much. Northern Cape.
Northern Cape support, Honourable Chair.
Northern Cape supports. Northwest.
Northwest supports, Honorable Chair.
Konipirima supports. Thank you very much. Western Cape.
The Western Cape supports, Chair.
Western Cape supports. Thank you very much. Voting closed. The results have been counted. 9 provinces have voted in favor. I therefore declare the report adopted in accordance with Section 65 of the Constitution.
Malibongwe.
Yes. Yes. Thank you very much. Honourable delegates, the House has agreed to the recommendations made by the Joint Committee on Ethics. The penalty will therefore be imposed. In addition to the fine indicated in the report, the delegate will now be reprimanded in the House. In view of this, I call on Honourable Mamorobela. Honourable Mamorobela, you are here with reprimanded. I'm told that Honourable Mamorobela is virtual. So you are here with reprimanded Honourable Mamorobela for breaching the Code of Ethical Conduct and disclosure of members' interest in that you submitted your 2022 disclosure of members' interest form late. You are so reprimanded, Honourable Member. We, having done so, will now move to the second order. Consideration of report of the Joint Committee on Ethics and Members' Interest on the alleged contravention of the Code of Ethical Conduct and disclosure of members' interests. Honourable Mushodi, I'm sure you'll do the report. Announcement tablings and committee reports. Present the report, yeah. Please proceed.
Thank you very much, Honourable Chairperson. The Joint Committee of Ethics and Member Interests, having considered the complaint against Honourable Winnie Ngwenya, MP, a member of the National Council of Provinces, report as follows. On the 18 May 2022, the chairperson of the NCOP, Honourable Masonto, MP, refer Part 3, Busasa of the Judiciary Commission of Inquiry into State Capture Report concerning Honourable Winnie Ngwenya, MP, House Chairperson, Member Support and International Relations, to the Joint Committee of Ethics and Member Interest. On the 6th June 2022, the committee resolved to process the referral by the chairperson of the NCOP in terms of item 10.223 of the Code of Ethical Conduct and Disclosure of Member Interests. Item 10.223 provides as follows, Honourable Chairperson. The committee acting on its own may consider and breach or alleged breach of the code. The member was duly notified and requested to provide written representation on the context of the report, Chair. The relevant part of the report that relates to the member is found in the context of Busasa and its interaction with the Department of Correctional Services and the Portfolio Committee of Correctional Services. Certain part of the testimony of Mr. Akrizi, Ms. Dennis Bloom, and Ms. Vincent Smith referred to the member, Honourable Chairperson. On invitation by the committee, the member addressed the committee in person on the 7th November 2022. After the address by the member, the matter stood over to a future meeting to afford the committee an opportunity to pose questions to the member. The answer and question session took place on the 12th June 2022. Therefore, Honourable Chairperson, the committee resolved that the member did not breach the code. I so table the report. Thank you very much, Honourable Chairperson. Ke a leboga.
No, thank you very much, Honourable Mashodi. Before we proceed to voting, Honourable members, I shall now allow provinces the opportunity as the practice to make their declaration of votes in terms of Rule 86, if they so wish. Any province wishing to make a declaration? No, none. Thank you very much. We shall now proceed to voting on the question. And the question is that the report be adopted. I now call upon the provinces to cast their votes. And when called upon, heads of delegations must indicate whether they vote in favor, against, or abstain. And we shall do so in alphabetical order, starting with the Eastern Cape. Eastern Cape. Eastern Cape. Eastern Cape.
Eastern Cape support the report, Honourable Chairperson. Thank you.
Eastern Cape supports Free State.
We agree, Chair, as Free State.
Free State agree. Gauteng.
Gauteng in support.
Gauteng supports. KwaZulu Natal.
KwaZulu Natal ayaseka sihla.
Natal supports. Limpopo.
Limpopo support, Honourable Chairperson.
Limpopo supports. Mpumalanga.
Mpumalanga vote in favor. Mpumalanga vote in favor, Honourable Chairperson. Thank you.
Vote in favor. Northern Cape.
Northern Cape support, Honourable Chairperson.
Northern Cape supports. Northwest.
Northwest supports, Honourable Chair.
Northwest support. Western Cape.
The Western Cape will abstain, Chair.
Abstain. Voting being closed. The results now being available. So 8 out of 9 provinces have voted in favor. I therefore declare the report adopted in accordance with Section 65 of the Constitution. We'll now proceed to the subject for the debate. Subject for the debate is printed on the order paper. Debate on water quality in South Africa and government's effort and responsibility towards clean water and security. I now call on Honourable SF Dwight from the Freedom Front Plus to open the debate.
Agbare voorsitter, a few headlines, open quote, India today, crisis in Africa, future wars could be fought over water. Democracy now, the UN warns of water wars as 2 billion people lack clean water in Africa and in the Middle East is the hardest hit. The New York Post, wars of the future will be fought over water and not oil. And then Bloomberg, as early as 25 July 2023, power crisis and anger set South Africa on a path for record protests. The number of so-called service delivery protests in South Africa, demonstrations over the failure of municipalities to provide services such as electricity and water may reach a new annual record. Close quote. According to the Water Research Commission, Chair, almost 40% of the total municipal water supplied in South Africa is lost before it reaches municipal customers. From the industry to the households. Voorsitter, die ANC sal vandag redeneer dat hulle sedert 1996 toegesien het dat miljoene Suid-Afrikaners skoon water gekry het. Hulle gaan 10-10 erken dat hulle bewus is van die vervalle infrastruktuur en dat dit aanvanklik die gevolg is as gevolg van die swak beplande ruimtelike ontwikkeling en daaraan toegeskryf kan word en ook dat aardverwarming 'n groot rol speel. In spite of the fact that the Constitution determines that clean water is a basic right, Chair, the top politicians like Minister Lindiwe Sisulu stood at this podium in this house and she said that she was pleased with the fact that sewage ran into people's houses because they then knew how that felt. It's a shame. Ek nooi weer eens die minister van water en sanitasie wat nie vandag in die huis is nie, maar virtueel ingeskakel is.
Honourable, I'm sure all of us are aware that if you are to raise an allegation in the house, you need to be careful not to do so, especially if that member is not in the house and will therefore be unable even to speak for herself. So I'm just raising that so that we take it into account as we engage on these matters. It's very, very important that we should really take care. There's more positive rewards that will reap out of that as the House. If in our deliberations we engage in a manner that really is fairly positive and take some of these issues, as I've said, into account.
Thank you.
Proceed.
Thank you, Honourable Chair. You're entitled on your view. I'm not casting aspersions. This is a fact. It happened in this house. Maybe you were absent that day or busy with something else, but it did happen in this house. And it happened during the time when Minister Lindiwe Sisulu filled the shoes of that position. Ek nooi weer eens die minister van water en sanitasie om saam met my Makwasi Hills munisipale area as ook die Nakamodiri Molema distrik te gaan besoek om eerstens te sien hoe gemeenskappe letterlik in die stof stik weens 'n tekort aan water en die afwesigheid daarvan vir weke aaneen wat mense dors sit. Waar ons as politici gaan klop en hamer in die deure van LER, premiers ensovoorts om hulp te soek dat hierdie mense kan water kry, maar ons kom voor toe deure. Beloftes word gemaak, maar daar's geen reaksie van die politikuste se kant af nie, voorsitter. Ottosdal, Sannieshof, Ditchabotla, Zeerust, Mamusa, Koster, vele ander dorpe in die Noordwes-provinsie gaan gebuk onder 'n tekort aan water en die afwesigheid daarvan. As ek al hierdie dorpe moet opneem, voorsitter, gaan ek klink soos die statistieke generaal. Honourable Minister Mkhunu, through you, Chair, I've got a list of towns, municipalities that are struggling with water shortages in the Northwest as well as the Free State provinces. I wanted to hand this to you after the sitting, but unfortunately you are not here, so I will definitely indeed forward it to your officers for you to tend to this as a matter of urgency. As early as this morning, we experienced protest actions in the JB Marks municipality. As I speak now, there are protest actions in Ventersdorp municipality, as well as in Tigani in the Northwest province, as a result of water shortages at this stage. Government promises, but they do not deliver. Chair, my colleague, the Honourable De Bruin, will later, when he has a chance, take part in this debate and then elaborate on legislation, as well as that are contravened by government, as well as possible proposals to solve this matter that pertains to water shortages. President Ramaphosa requested South Africans to be ambassadors of the country, not to badmouth the country. He wants us to tell a story of good ANC governance. Chair, with a clear conscience, I cannot tell lies like that. We experience the dilapidation of water infrastructure on a daily basis. No South African can contest the fact that we are sitting with a huge problem at hand. The Department of Water and Sanitation, as early as 3 days ago, issued a notice that indicated that the blue-green algae in the Valry River is a big problem. Chair, this department, sitting with a huge problem, We do not want this blue algae to go to other rivers as well. It says that it's due to the high nutrient levels as a result of effluent in the water. Sis, voorsitter, hoekom is dit nodig dat klagtes by die Menseregte Kommissie aanhangig gemaak moet word? Klagtes in die Ngwenya en ander munisipaliteite. Dis 'n skande. How is it even possible that human rights violations like this, as a result of failure to provide clean drinking water in areas where there is infrastructure, can take place? How many people did not react to our pleas? Municipal managers, the water infrastructure teams, HODs, municipal mayors, the provincial committee chair, MECs, provincial premiers, as well as ministers. How many more, Chair? Voorsitter, die VF+ het met verskillende departemente gekonsulteer, insluitend die departement van water en sanitasie, gekontak en hulle gemaan om die rioolwerke in die munisipaliteite te omskep in biogaseenhede, wat moontlik is. Ek het dit eerstens aanskou in Swede, toe ons besoek afgelê het. Voorsitter, ons is nie ontvang met 'n staande applous nie. Indien dit geïmplementeer word, sal die kragkrisis aangespreek word, as ook die besoedelingskrisis in die land. We engaged with the Minister of Water and Sanitation, Mining, as well as the Minister of Energy, and warned them against building a mega mine tillage dam on the banks of the Vaal River near Kuma in the Northwest Province. It fell on deaf ears. It's about 200 meters from the Vaal River, Chair. It's a disaster that's waiting to happen. Just as the Minister of Kochta is doing now, with the majority of the water reservoirs in the Northwest and the Free State provinces that are currently under 30% capacity due to infrastructure challenges and load shedding, Chair. The ANC managed to take control of the elements. They managed to engineer the perfect storm without municipal engineers. The perfect storm without water, Chair, a combination of waterless communities, penniless municipalities, hopeless individuals, and people that are deprived of their dignity by this government. A recipe for social unrest and destruction. We can't afford that, Chair. Suid-Afrika, al is julle tonge droog, julle kinders vol stof en die stank wat hang in die strate, weet dat julle pense ink nat sal wees in 2024 om 'n einde te bring aan hierdie stofstorm van die ANC. South Africa, it's up to each and every one of us to stand up and take our futures back, take our dignity back, take our lives back, if not for us, then for our children. Dis tyd om hierdie vrotwater van die ANC by die agterdeur uit te gooi, voorsitter. Dankie.
Thank you very much. We now proceed to Honourable Tebogo.
Chairperson of the NCOP, Honourable Amos Masondo, Minister of Water and Sanitation, Honourable Senzo Mtunu, permanent and special delegates, ladies and gentlemen. The ANC and its led government is the first to acknowledge that there are challenges with the Water Service Authority, especially at local government level. And this is in relation to executing their responsibility of providing quality, safe, clean, and drinkable water to communities while guaranteeing water security for current and future generations. The Constitution of our country mandates that the democratic government take the necessary measures to ensure that the right to access to quality, safe, and clean drinkable water is realized within the available resources. To give effect to this important right, the government adopted various pieces of legislation, policies, and programs. In addition, Honourable Chair, the ANC government since 1994 has rolled out massive water and sanitation infrastructure across the length and breadth of our country. For example, in the first decade of our democracy, the ANC-led government invested a total of 14.8 billion between 1994 and March 2004, all in water and sanitation services. Honourable members, although the ANC-led government continues to invest more resources in water and sanitation infrastructure, our communities still face challenges relating to the reliability of the supply of water and sanitation services. Minister Mkunu has also acknowledged that his department continues to encounter various challenges in the provision of quality drinkable water, and this includes population growth, increasing economic activities, climate change, and the inability of the local government to maintain, to repair, and to refurbish the water and sanitation infrastructure as a result of some of these local municipalities being in financial distress. The NC-led government is committed to addressing the above identified challenges. Minister Mkunu has put measures in place to rebuild and to restore the Water Service Authority capacity and capability to ensure future generations have access to clean water while maintaining water security. This is done to guarantee clean water and water security, where the government prioritizes maintaining the current water infrastructure. Honourable members, President Ramaphosa also raised government's concern about the lack of infrastructure maintenance by the local government in one of his weekly letters in July this year. In this weekly letter, President Ramaphosa highlighted the fact that South Africa had good quality infrastructure, but in far too many instances, it was not being properly maintained and upgraded, and this is true. Many of our local municipalities are recipients of various grants, Honourable Chair, such as the Municipal Infrastructure Grant, the Regional Bulk Infrastructure Grant, and the Water Services Infrastructure Grant. All these grants are allocated to assist the local municipalities, including the water service, who are also the water service authorities, in order for them to build new infrastructure and maintain it and repair it and rehabilitate existing water sanitation infrastructure as well. Unfortunately, Honourable Chair, many of these water service authorities have been unable to utilize the allocated grants effectively and efficiently in order to ensure the maintenance and upgrading of the existing water and sanitation infrastructure. President Ramaphosa has called on the sector departments, in particular water and sanitation and COGTA, to provide the necessary support in the form of technical assistance, planning, and coordination to the struggling water service authorities to ensure that the issue of municipal underspending, especially on water and sanitation infrastructure, is addressed as a matter of urgency. As the ANC, Honourable Chair, we further wish to call upon the National Treasury to ensure that no local municipal council adopts budgets without a sufficient percentage of its budget allocated to the maintenance, repair, and refurbishment of water and sanitation infrastructure in line with the national norm and standards. Ours in this August House, Honourable Chair, is to ensure that the government prioritize the maintenance of the existing water infrastructure to guarantee quality, safe and clean water and ensure water security. Government, to this end, must prioritize investing in building technical competence while guaranteeing retention of personnel. Honourable Chair, the NC-led government has made available a number of grants, as I indicated, in this particular instance. However, it is quite important moving this particular process forward, ensure that we address the issues of the dysfunctionality of municipalities, as I indicated, in order for them to work for the betterment of our communities. And therefore, in this particular instance, Honourable Chair, the ANC, having taken the totality of the situation, we can confirm that Minister Mkunu and his department have made a number of Section 63 interventions in several municipalities, and this include Nelson Mandela Metropolitan Municipality and Insidibeng District Municipality, for example. We welcome the recent appointment as the ANC in the department of more than 800 technicians and scientists, and we further wish to encourage the department to second these employees to these struggling municipalities in order to address the critical skill shortages, making sure that the routine maintenance is performed on the water infrastructure. Honourable Chair, the department has revived the Blue and Green Drop certification program, which is very, very good. The Blue and Green Drop program is an incentive-based regulation that encourages transparency and accountability in terms of quality of water that the democratic government provides, and further ensure that there are no instances of wastewater spillages that contaminate the water supply chain and the surrounding living environment. Through this program, Honourable Chair, the Department of Water and Sanitation is able to measure, to monitor, and to publish information on the quality of water and sanitation infrastructure and services in our country, and in particular, whether they are compliant with international standards and agreements to which our country is a signatory. We call upon the Minister and his department to ensure that participation in the program, as I've outlined, is compulsory and not voluntary. By making this program compulsory, Honourable Chair, local municipalities or water service authorities would be forced to perform routine maintenance on the water infrastructure, not only to safeguard the quality of water, but also for water security. Our country, Honourable Chair, is losing close to 40% of clean water due to the aging, broken, and unattended water and sanitation infrastructure. In short, the transfer of critical personnel from the department to struggling water service authorities and making compulsory the participation of water service authorities in the Blue and Green Drop program will significantly improve the provision of water, which is quality, safe, and clean for the current generation, while ensuring the future generation, as I indicated, Honourable Chair. According to the Water Resource Commission, few municipalities have put adequate portions of their budget aside for maintenance. The National Treasury requires all local municipalities to allocate at least 8% of their budgets for repairs and maintenance. And this is not
we're losing you a bit, the Honourable
and
Tebogo.
this, as I indicated, has got to happen. And as I indicated, yes, I'm about to do that, Honourable Chair. Honourable Chair, the essence of what I'm saying is that the ANC government has done a lot, despite what Honourable Dito is saying. Many of our people, especially in the rural communities, didn't have access to water. Today they have. And the ANC government, whilst we acknowledge the important strides that we have made, we are the first to admit, to say there are still challenges, and these challenges must be given attention. But to stand here in the podium, to pontificate, to prevaricate, and talk all this manner of things is totally unacceptable. That clearly shows that he's drumming up for votes. They need to secure votes in order to defeat the ANC, and that will never happen, Honourable Chair, because our commitment is very clear. And our commitment is to ensure that we serve the South African people and we reach those historically disadvantaged communities, those deprived communities, those who do not have access to water. And we shall never tire, Honourable Chair, to champion that particular cause, because it is for the benefit of our people, it's for the benefit of the people who suffer at all the most. Instead of bringing solutions, you stand in a podium, you complain, you criticize, but at the end of it all, you do not bring any single solution to the problem that we're facing, forgetting that this is a historical problem. It's a historical problem that was created, and in order to address it, it will take some few years, and that is what this government is doing. But if you use this platform to champion a cause that will seek to defeat the ANC, you're wasting your time. Our people know who their leader is. Our people have voted this government because they've got confidence and full confidence in this government to deliver for them. And we shall never fail to do so. We shall do everything within our power to ensure that we support our people. And as a caring government, the ANC-led government, Honourable Chairperson,
just a minute,
Honourable Tebogo, we are achieving this success. Thank you very much, Honourable Chair.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. But yes, Honourable Dwight.
Thank you, Honourable Chair. Honourable Chair, the Honourable Tebogo is misleading the House by saying that South Africans has got confidence in the ANC. It's not the truth, Chair.
The point of
that's not the point of order and so on. Honourable members, please do state what the point of order is when you stand up. It just really assists us to run things in a particular way. Not because you want to voice a disagreement. Just standing up and voicing a disagreement does not is not in keeping with the rules of the House. Honourable members, we now move to Honourable C.F. Bears-Smith.
Honourable Chairperson, when I started thinking about this debate, I remember the time when I was a young boy staying on a farm, on a small farm called close to a small town called Tomberg in Limpopo, next to the Limpopo River and Botswana border. I remember drinking water straight from the tap. Chair, can you be protected, please?
Please proceed.
Chair, can I be protected?
Can you ask the member, please, not to disturb the proceedings of the House? Honourable, please don't do what you're doing. Please proceed.
Thank you, Honourable Chair. I remember drinking water straight from the tap.
Can you come and switch off the aircon? It's too strong.
Chair, really, what is happening?
Please proceed. Honourable members, please don't disturb the proceedings in the House. Because even if you are virtual, we really don't want to hear all those background noises.
Thank you, Chair. I remember drinking water straight from the tap with the hand. I remember drinking straight from pipe.
Honourable member, yes. On what point I rise?
Please, we didn't hear from the beginning. There was too much interruptions. Can we please ask the Honourable member to start again?
Please proceed.
Chairperson, if I can get my time back, yes. Honourable Chair, I remember drinking water from small streams, but never I thought or imagined that we will one day have to pay for bottled water to have access to safe drinking water. In fact, I continued drinking straight from the tap until around a decade ago when I started getting sick from the water from the tap. Chair, I shared this because it is a reality for a lot of us today. And we tend to forget that there's millions of people out there that are unable to afford the luxury of buying safe drinking water. I can share with you the stories of the people of Pudiagopa village and Galakwanstroom around Bakenburg in Mogalakwena that digs for water in the riverbeds and share with animals because they are left no other choice as they have been abandoned by this uncaring ANC government. I can tell you about the people of Mupel Farm village close to Marken, also in Mogalakwena, that drank water with animals from a natural spring next to a dry stream because the uncaring ANC government failed to make any effort to fix their pump at the borehole for months.
Your DA failed because you are
This
drinking
was
with
quickly
pigs.
resolved within a week by our DA councillors, Corinus de Toy and Elis Matlow, who cared enough to take action. I can also tell you about the communities of Tiki Line village in around Malebogo, in Blouberg, that also drinks from a natural spring that is located right in the center of the main gravel road that links that village with others, also sharing with animals. They've never experienced the luxury of having piped water. Chair, I can keep you as busy for the whole day going on examples of these forgotten communities. Just this week, I came across multiple headlines in the media. Polokwane residents continue to suffer as water shortages persist. DA intervenes in Mogalakwena water crisis. Phalaborwa residents continue to suffer due to a collapse of water services. This paints a bleak picture about the state of our water services and is clearly underpinned by the Green Drop Watch report released recently. Shows that 39% of the 995 wastewater systems are in a critical condition. That's more than 330 wastewater systems. But only seven criminal cases has been opened yet. But let me also tell you that it's an impossible mission to open criminal cases in terms of the National Water Act and the National Environmental Management Act. Firstly, the local police do not understand these crimes, as they have obviously not been trained to deal with such cases, nor been provided with the relevant sections of the Act. And what are being done in such cases? They still resist to open such cases, or if they are opened, they die a silent death, as accounting officers of municipalities are rotated like underwear, and the process needs to start afresh each time. According to the department's own report, water demand will exceed availability supply by 2030, bringing about the reality of water shedding schedules above the already devastating load shedding schedules. In fact, this is already a reality in our towns and cities in Limpopo and elsewhere. Recently, it was revealed that over 123 billion liters of water are lost mainly per annum, mainly due to water leakages from water boards alone, not even considering the losses by local municipalities. Due to water losses, the department lost 29.7 billion rand in potential revenue. Then the delay in regional bulk water projects are caused and ballooning of cost by 9.4 billion rand. Chairperson, it is clear that the ANC has come to age, and like we say in Afrikaans, soos 'n ou man met een voet in die graf en die ander een op 'n piesangskil, the time has come for change. Yes. The time has come for a new, energetic, focused, caring, and innovative government, because we cannot go on like this anymore. We need to change it now. The only viable solution is a DA-led coalition government that has proven record of excellent service delivery, a caring government that takes its responsibility very seriously and do not steal from the people's hard-earned tax money. This is clearly illustrated in the recent census statistics that was released that shows that the DA-led Western Cape has the highest provision of piped water at 99.1% of compared to my province, Limpopo, which is ANC-led, that's got only 79.5%. These facts for itself now the time is up. The voters need to make these changes, and the reality
You forgot to mention Hammanskraal, Mr. Smith.
For the DA in 2024. I thank you.
Thank you very much.
Flat DA.
We will now proceed to Honourable Z. Williams, Eastern Cape Cocta.
Thank you very much.
Williams.
Thank you very much, Honourable Chairperson. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are. Please proceed.
Greetings to you, Honourable Chairperson, all esteemed members of the House, Honourable Minister of Water Affairs, Honourable Mtunu, all the distinguished participants and members of the public watching us through the social media platforms. This afternoon, Honourable Chair, we delve into a crucial debate concerning a fundamental essential of life, namely the provision of quality water to the people and residents of South Africa. The debate is timely in the light of climate change and its subsidiary problems relating to flash floods, droughts, which have resulted in waterborne diseases in the recent past. This debate holds immense significance as we assess its impact on health, environment, and socio-economic factors. To begin with, Chairperson, it is impossible to conceive life without water. And economists have developed a dictum which is called the water diamond paradox, which means although diamonds can be expensive, but you will die without water. The importance of quality water provisioning can therefore not be overemphasized. Through evidence, analysis, and thoughtful discourse, I will unpack the challenges and shed light on the imperative need for action to ensure safe quality drinking water for all South Africans and the Eastern Cape in particular. The quest of the ANC government remains to ensure everyone has access to safe and reliable drinking, and moreover, to protect consumers from potentially unsustainable and unsafe drinking water. Fundamentally, wastewater management and sanitation in general are paramount to the dignity of our people and the integrity of the environment. The ANC remains seized with a desire to raise the standard of our water service institutions to ensure that the provincial governments strive for excellence, and especially all water service authorities to perform better in providing good quality water. According to the Department of Water Affairs and Sanitation, a Blue Drop report of July 2023 I quote, it recognizes that the partnerships between municipalities, water boards, together with the private sector is essential to keep the quality of water clean and of high quality. And we dare not drop the ball in this regard. This brings me to the next point, which is the quality of water of South Africa compared to international standards. Chairperson, South Africa's drinking water quality meets the set standards by the World Health Organization, which is why in South Africa today, you can still drink water directly from the tap. The South African regulations, such as the SANS 241, sets the standards for clean drinking water quality, despite efforts to comply with these standards and have access to safe drinking water. The compliance varies between urban and rural areas, with some communities experiencing water quality challenges due to aging infrastructure and poor maintenance, resulting in contamination of water services. To ensure clean drinking water, South Africa uses the Blue Drop system. In essence, the Blue Drop system is a program implemented by the Department of Water and Sanitation to assess and monitor quality water every day. The program ensures that the water supply to communities is of high quality and safe for consumption. It assesses the performance of water service authorities, which are responsible for providing drinking water to the public. It evaluates various aspects of water supply system, including water quality management, water safety planning, infrastructure maintenance, and compliance with regulatory standards. Water safety plans, which are part of the system, are a proactive and preventative approach to safeguarding drinking water quality and public health. They are endorsed by the World Health Organization and are widely adopted by water supply agencies globally to ensure delivery of safe and clean drinking water to communities. Proper infrastructure maintenance is essential to ensuring reliability, safety, and quality of water supply. Here are some of the key aspects to consider when expanding on infrastructure maintenance. The physical components. Infrastructure maintenance encompasses a wide range of physical components, including water sources, reservoirs, wells, rivers, treatment facilities, distribution networks, storage facilities, and other related equipment. And preventative maintenance involves routine and scheduled activities designed to prevent equipment and infrastructure from deteriorating or malfunctioning. All these are efforts to ensure that water quality is improved and is at 97% on a
We're losing you, Honourable Member. Please try again.
Since 1994. My apology, Chair. There is upgrade. Chair, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
All right. Chairperson, municipalities have trained process controllers who manage water quality, and presently about 50% of vacancies have been filled, and others are in the process of being filled in order to improve water services. Current water tariffs in some municipalities do not support the production of quality water and maintenance of infrastructure. The major challenge still remains the non-payment of services by communities. In respect of performance of municipalities in the province, in providing good quality water. I can say during the last 12 months, the performance in terms of blue drop has been between 94 and 98%, which in the majority, there's failure of the system, most of them performing below 80, and we need all these municipalities to comply with 97% compliance for SANS 241. The current performance levels, in some instances, provide hope. And at present, the average in those municipalities that have got poor infrastructure, the percentage performance stands at only 51% averaged to all municipalities. And the state of infrastructure is very bad, as has been confirmed by the Auditor General. The new Blue Drop report, which was launched on the 5th of December 2023, is giving hope to ensure compliance and provide clean treated water to municipalities, to communities. In conclusion, the challenges in South Africa's efforts to provide clean drinking water are insufficient operations and maintenance budget, which requires the Treasury to allocate more funding in order to improve the infrastructure. Many small plants in rural areas,
time is up.
Access is difficult. Thank you very much, Chair. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you very much. We'll now move on to Honourable Dlamini. Yes, please proceed.
Thank you. Chairperson, South Africa is currently in a dire state of affairs when it comes to its water supply. The ANC-led government, even after being given repeated opportunities from the first to the sixth administration, totaling almost 30 years, has drastically failed to do even the simplest duty of ensuring that water and sanitation is applied to our people as guided by the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa. Water is fundamental for life, agriculture, and economic prosperity. Yet as a country, we are currently facing challenges in relation to the quality of water provided. The main challenge is the lack of access to safe drinking water and sanitation facilities, particularly in rural areas. Water stands as the lifeblood of communities, playing a pivotal role in sustaining health, driving agricultural productivity, and fostering economic development. Yet in Piet Retief Hospital, Mkhondo, the hospital operates without reliable water supply, compromising the health and sanitation of our people. In Amatole, in the Eastern Cape, there has been a decade-long ongoing water quality crisis. Areas in the former Transkei, such as Butterworth, Ndabakazi village, and Idujwa, have been experiencing an ongoing water crisis for years, posing a dire threat to the well-being of our people. In Ward 13 at Umvoti local municipality in KwaZulu-Natal, residents are still drinking water with cattle from the river and relying on rainwater with no proper sanitation structures in place since 1994. The people of Giyani, Skukune in Limpopo, Senegal, Clan in Free State, Makanda in the Eastern Cape, Warrenton in Northern Cape have no reliable supply of clean water, and many more have not yet seen the light of democracy. As 29 years after consistent empty promises by this failed government, the people of Hammanskraal in Gauteng have no access to potable water due to the rampant corruption by the ruling party and continued misgovernance and disregard for Black lives by the DA. The ANC government, together with the Democratic Alliance, also failed to manage the cholera outbreak in Hammanskraal, which resulted in people drinking water from Apes River, wherein they were sharing water with animals as they failed to upgrade the Temba wastewater treatment plant. The country continued sewage crisis, which led to the cholera outbreak, was also largely due to non-functional municipal sewage systems, like found in Morgan's Bay Ward 5, Great Kai in Amatole district. There exists within the ruling party a lack of capacity and suitable skills to manage even the basics. Chairperson, more than 90% of the total 824 treatment plants across the country release raw or partially treated sewage directly into the country's already scarce water resource. At local government level, there is a lack of maintenance of basic infrastructure to provide safe drinking water and sanitation facilities, and a lack of implementation and enforcement of existing legislation. Today, 32% of households in South Africa do not have access to a reliable service due to dilapidated infrastructure, as well as a lack of proper operations and maintenance of existing infrastructure, which results in disruptions and shortages of water supply. In many rural areas, people still rely on rivers and streams for their water supply, which is often contaminated and leads to a spread of diseases. And this is coupled with a lack of proper sanitation facilities, particularly in schools and health facilities, posing significant health risk to our people. These issues have significant implications for the public health and economic development, as the poor water quality and sanitation conditions contributes to high incidences of waterborne diseases such as cholera and typhoid fever. The degradation of water quality also has a severe consequence for biodiversity, posing a threat to aquatic ecosystems, fish stocks, and other critical components of the country's natural heritage. Chairperson, this is evident that there are those who believe that as long as it looks like there's something that has been done, South Africans ought to believe that something is done. A particular Secretary General who suffers from an overinflated empty ego at a funeral in the Free State proudly and boldly said, and I quote, "You may not have water, but you have a tap in your yard delivered by the ANC," close quote. This proves the kind of mentality that rules the state of affairs. We are indeed in a crisis. The Department of Water and Sanitation seems to be more entangled in funding constraints than focusing on being a water service provider. Chairperson, it is the state's duty to provide clean water to citizens. Failure to make clean quality water available to citizens is therefore tantamount to a state-sanctioned termination of a right to life of citizens. To improve water quality in the country and prevent health crises, such as the cholera outbreak, the state needs to test supplied drinking water from all resources on the frequent basis to establish compliance. It must be introduced or update policies and regulations related to water quality management, involving stricter enforcement measures, incentives for industries to adopt cleaner practices, and penalties for violations. We must adopt and implement water conservation programs to reduce overall water demand. We must invest in research and innovation for sustainable water management, supporting the development of new technology, strategies, and policies. And finally, Chairperson, as a country, we must vote this government out of power in 2024. I thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll now proceed to Honourable Makam. Honourable Makam.
Thanks very much, Chairperson of the NCOP, House Chairpersons, Chief Whip of the NCOP, Honourable Members, the Portfolio Committee on COCTA and Select Committee and other parliamentary oversight committees, fellow MECs who are present here, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. We meet here in the backdrop of the launch of this year's 16 Days of Activism Against Gender-Based Violence, which runs from the 25th of November to the 10th of December annually, to highlight the scourge of gender-based violence and femicide affecting women and children. This year's observation of the launch was launched in Mpumalanga under the theme, I quote, "Accelerating actions to end gender-based violence and femicide, leaving no one behind." The sub-theme for this year is safe access for women to clean water, a basic human right. It is imperative that each one of us, according to the level of influence we have been entrusted with, work hard to educate and guide our communities towards creating space that protect women and children. This sitting comes at an opportune time that aligns and intertwines the need for us to end gender-based violence and femicide with women's rights to clean drinking water. Ladies and gentlemen, the province of Limpopo has 5 district municipalities and 22 local municipalities. Since 1996, our population has been doubled from just mere 900,000 households to 1.8 million households. 3 municipalities, namely Polokwane, Fitakomo, Tubatse, and Thulamela municipalities, are among the 17 largest population centers in this country. The Constitution has made water a human right to redress any marginalization of the poor from this resource. Despite the scarcity of resource, this ANC-led government has been able to increase the national percentage of households having access to sanitation. And as a province, Limpopo has experienced a 19.7% increase in sanitation from 2011 to 2022. This is a critical improvement to the quality of life of our people, as proper sanitation significantly reduces the risk of disease and subsequent loss of lives. While much has been accomplished towards providing our people with clean drinking water, the protection of this water and maintaining of a certain quality thereof is critical and need us as the stewards of these resources. Section 2, subsection A, D, F, and H of the Water Service Act of 1997 provides for the right of access to basic water supply, the establishment of a regulatory framework for water services, institutions, and intermediaries, monitoring of water services and intervention, as well as gathering of information in a national information system. Water quality management is an important tool in our quest for the protection of water resources against human-induced activities such as mining, agriculture, industry, and local government. As part of our water quality management, efforts also placed on the monitoring programs to keep track of the quality of the water at our source. One among the 5 monitoring programs is the Joint Water Quality Monitoring Programs between Botswana and South Africa, the last of which was undertaken in September this year. Through these monitoring services, we have noticed a concerning trend in the quality of water. These water use activities include activities in mining, agriculture, agro-processing, wastewater treatment works, and urban and informal settlement. As part of the intervention to these challenges, our provincial government is working on the enforcement of compliance to ensure that water is treated to acceptable standards before being discharged into water resource. We are also looking at implementing the polluters pay principle, water discharge system, and operation and maintenance, and the operation and maintenance of wastewater treatment plants. Where municipalities are not showing promise in their provision of water and sanitation services, our province is working closely with the Department of Water and Sanitation to assist in that regard. The department is in the process of strengthening its role as a regulator of water services. This includes developing a comprehensive and more stringent norms and standards for water services and standardizing its regulatory processes so that it's inconsistent with the regulatory actions. Where the low green and blue drop scores are concerned, we are hard at work with our municipalities to develop green and blue drop corrective action plans. We are happy to see progress in this regards as plans by municipalities have already been submitted. Our teams are currently working with municipalities to allocate funding to implement these corrective action plans. COGSTA and Municipal Infrastructure Support Agency, that is MISA, are also providing support to municipalities to cause the budget required to address all the DWS enforcement notices by March 24. Support affected to municipalities to register projects with MIG and WISIC to address the non-compliance for 2024-25 financial year by March 2024. While the provision of quality water and sanitation in our communities is not entirely satisfactory, this government continues to demonstrate its willingness to meaningfully increase the number of our people who have got access to clean drinking water in a quality way. As Honourable Chair, I thank you for the opportunity to debate on this topic of very important about our communities. I thank you, Honourable Chair.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honourable Makamo. We'll now proceed to Honourable Khatebe, and then Honourable Ngwenya will take over the chair. Honourable Khatebe.
Thank you, Honourable Chairperson. Despite South Africa being a signatory to a plethora of international treaties and having committed itself to its own nation standards through the provisions of the Constitution, it has continuously failed to provide clean and safe drinking water to all South Africans. This is a direct reflection of government's efforts or its lack thereof. Where efforts have been made, albeit poorly, the quality of water provided is unsafe, unhealthy, and unfit for human consumption, and as a result, the situation has not changed much for millions of South Africans since the inception of democracy. Honourable Chairperson, one might even argue that government has regressed in its efforts to provide safe drinking water. This is due to numerous factors such as defective water infrastructure that has been exacerbated by neglect, incompetence, and corruption, which has led to a total collapse of the country's wastewater treatment works. Poorly managed wastewater treatment works has inevitably encouraged a rise in the number of local authorities that are unable to meet minimum compliance standards, thus putting the health of our people at risk. Although the cholera outbreak in Hammanskraal is what sparked recent debate surrounding the country's water supply and quality, this is a fight we have championed throughout the years, and yet our people are still forced to rely on unsafe and polluted rivers for water in order to cover their most basic needs. Honourable Chairperson, one cannot help but wonder where the future of this country is headed when some municipalities have no water quality monitoring systems in place and no evidence of any water testing at all. As part of its efforts, government needs to form and fast-track functional and effective collaborations with the private sector and researchers and experts in order to encourage investment and development in the water industry. In conclusion, Honourable Chairperson, we call for urgent action that is intentionally targeted at addressing the deterioration of water resources, dilapidated infrastructure, and the lack of service delivery that is rampant in our country. We all need to bear in mind that government's failure to deliver on its responsibility to the people is a threat to public health. I thank you, Chairperson.
Thanks very much, Honourable Pungane. The next speaker is Honourable Manzini, Mpumalanga MEC of Health. Thank you. Honourable Manzini, Mpumalanga MEC. He's not. Okay. Siyakuba, Gako on the platform. Honourable members, Siyakuba, I would like to recognize Honourable C. Vice, DA.
Thank you, Honourable House Chair. Honourable House Chair, Honourable Minister, Honourable members and fellow South Africans. Good day. The Department of Water and Sanitation proudly branded itself with water is life and sanitation is dignity. While the mission of COGTA is to ensure that all municipalities comply with their constitutional obligations and perform their basic responsibilities and functions without compromise. The preamble of the National Water Act clearly states that the water of South Africa belongs to the people of South Africa. Chapter 8 of the Constitution of South Africa determines the right to sufficient water of quality and quantity. The government is constitutionally obliged to provide clean water for human consumption, the provision of quality drinking water, as well as the provision of basic sanitation services to protect the environment. Today, 30 years after the dawn of democracy, a tsunami of human waste and toxic industrial waste inundates our rivers and dams and creates a national security issue. We know without fear of contradiction that our water quality has been on a downward trajectory for some time, and government has failed to take the much needed step to save our water. However, absolutely nothing has been done about this matter. Nothing at all. I want to say congratulations to all former ministers who allowed highly acidic mine water, rich in a dissolved cocktail of heavy metals, including uranium, vanadium, cadmium, and mercury, to flow into our rivers and dams unabatedly. But most importantly, we have also witnessed the systemic collapse of our wastewater infrastructure, which has accelerated since 2005. Shame on you. It has truly reached the point of no return of 995 sewage works assessed by the Green Drop assessments. Only 23 achieved the coveted Green Drop Award for Excellence, with 39% of the 995 sewage works assessed were found to be in a critical state. The lack of the provision of water and sanitation is a national public health crisis. It deprives people their right to live in dignity, and every human being suffers if there is no water. The logo of water is life indeed is true, because if there is no water, there is no food, no baby formula, and hungry, disgruntled people. The crisis of raw untreated sewer allowed to run into our rivers, posing a threat to agricultural produce, to dying rivers, and soon will be affecting the quality of our human lives. When diseases like cholera, typhoid fever, hepatitis, and many of the other waterborne diseases affect our communities, it will be too late to save our water. Where lies the problem? What went wrong? The lack of political will, the appointment of untrained, unskilled employees, financial mismanagement, lack of management skills, discipline and control, not demanding accountability of officials, no management and maintenance in municipalities, causing extensive damage to infrastructure, broken pumps, stolen cables, failed water augmentation projects, all result in dry reservoirs, dry taps, and disgruntled, unhappy people. Essential everything that should be on an ANC CV. Sorry for that. South Africans are subjected to intense water shortages due to reasons created by bad governance practices. With oversight and visiting many communities without water, it is the most vulnerable that suffers the most. But what is scary is the fact that South Africans do not know what lurks in the water they consume. Clearly, water is not an indication of quality water. Clear water is not that indication. Besides, toxic industrial waste being dumped into our rivers and raw untreated sewer, partially metabolized pharmaceutical products, seeps into our rivers, reservoirs, and our taps. Sadly, the Department of Water and Sanitation and the Department of Environment, Forestry and Fisheries are unable to hold the municipalities and industries accountable for poisoning our water by failing to implement their respective acts and the Constitution of South Africa. In conclusion, water specialist Dr. Anthony Turton said, once a river slips from a favorable state to an unfavorable state, we don't have the signs to get it back. Cry, beloved country, cry. However, I say to South Africans, there is hope. As where the DA governs, we deliver best governance. We deliver hope for a better life. Siyabongena, Temi.
Thanks very much, Honourable Member. The next speaker is Honourable B. Sithole Moloi, KwaZulu-Natal MEC, Gokta. Honourable Sithole.
Thank you, Honourable Chair. Greetings to Honourable Chair, to the Deputy Chair of NCOP, to the Minister of Water and Sanitation, Minister Mchunu, and other ministers present, to the permanent and special guests of the NCOP. I want to greet you all members and also the viewers that are viewing our program today. Honourable Chair, one would like to say that it's true that water is life and sanitation is dignity. Hence, the government of the day is moving from that premise in ensuring that we provide clean water to our people. The reason why we are doing that is because we have made a commitment to our people when we get to this democratic government that we are going to ensure that they have clean water. They also have access also to dignified sanitation. I'm rising in this house also to provide an update on the water quality and government interventions in ensuring that access to clean water in our province is in progress. With the ANC-led government, there is a significant progress made in providing clean water to our people, especially those that have been denied the access by the then government of apartheid. Somlomo sihlalo womhlangano ngiyafisa ukuthi ngisho ukuthi siyafuna ukwazisa sikhumbuzise futhi indlu ukuba ngesonto lephelile umongameli wezwe ubaba umnumzane uCyril Ramaphosa ubelapha KwaZulu-Natal ehambele izinye zezingqalasizinda eziletha amanzi ukuba azobiqinisekisa ukuthi le mibiko ayinikezwayo iliqiniso elingephikiswe nanokuthi ke sesikwazi kangakanani ukwenza umahluko kuloko. Uye wahambela ke indawo yaseHerigwala, wahambela nendawo yaseMkhanyakude elekelela ukuba siqinisekise ukuthi ngempela esikhulumayo kuyenzeka. Simbonile umongameli enza lo msebenzi. Sibonga kakhulu futhi nengeqhaza elibanjwe kakhulu umnumzane uminister wethu wamanzi ubaba uMacingwane ukuba aqinisekise ukuthi la singakwazi khona ukufinyelela yena uyakwazi ukuthi asilekelele sifinyelele komasipala bethu abalekelele kakhulu. However, I must mention that while we have made progress in the provision of clean water, we have faced numerous challenges, including insufficient budget, project delays, legal disputes, natural disasters, floods in particular, and others which affects our progress in some of our projects in the district, in the province. But despite these challenges, we have made a significant stride in increasing the number of people that are having access in clean water. Chairperson, let me provide a summary of our findings, which relating to the water systems assessment in KwaZulu-Natal. We'll deal with that in respect to the district. Ngifuna ukucacisa ke ukuthi ke ngenxa yocwaningo esibe nalo njengoKwaZulu-Natal, sifuna ukwazisa ukuthi ngezifunda uKwaZulu-Natal umi kanjani esigabeni sezamanzi nehlobo nequality yamanzi esiwaprovidayo. Ngiyafisa ukuthi ke ngijabulile kakhulu ukuthi mangiza phambi kwalendlu ngomhla ka 29 kuMarch sithole ireport evela Institute Water Quality Compliance. Here it's saying that in our province we are placed at 99.9% and 98.9% for both microbiological and chemical compliance, respectively. This is certifying and showing that as the province, we provide water that are clean and healthy to our people. In all districts, no directive has been issued by the regulator of the water quality, but we do have water safety plans in place and closely monitoring plan. Average of 71% was achieved for the 15th system assessed, which means the infrastructure and processes are partially functional and an average performance. The best overall performance was found in Msunduze, Ngwenya Water, followed by Umhlatuze, Utugela, and Newcastle and Utugela Water. The lowest performance was observed at Danakon and Impenge Spring Protection. The summary of Etegwini Metro, the Kloof water system is in good functional condition, although infrastructure is showing signs of aging. The staff are competent who are dealing with that, and want to report that that has been monitored and also has been approved to be making progress in respect to the matters. Going to the Kokstad water system has effective functional treatment processes. However, more effective disinfection management, dislodge disposal management, more attention is needed to the preventive maintenance, specifically civil and mechanical on old building is recommended. No directive has been issued by the regulator in this respect. With Ilembe, we are at 91% on chemical compliance, and this is the functional condition. Although civil infrastructure and building require refurbishment, the staff are competent and well supported. Greater Umtonjaneni is a well-designed conventional treatment plant with necessary equipment on the site and capable process controllers. However, there are several units processes that are not functioning as required. Impressively, though, it is that the water quality produced by the treatment works meets the SANS 241 standards. To maintain this quality, operations and maintenance need to be addressed as soon as possible. Ingagane, a site is impressively well managed and operating, and experience is that and dedicated processes and water quality is monitored according to the SANS 241 and is of high quality. The community may use the water with high level of confidence as it shows that it's a clean, high quality water as expected of the treatment. Altogether, where despite very constrained finances within the district, the Ladysmith water treatment plant has functional treatment processes. A water safety plan is in place and outdated and needs revision, coupled with the in-depth analysis and effective implementation. Zululand Lundi, a new pipeline is delivering water system and is almost complete. Will be placed in. Will be replacing the old pipe, and all the systems have been put in place. I want also to indicate that all this work that I have accounted for in all the district has been also led by the Minister of Water and Sanitation, Minister Ngwenya, in ensuring that where there is no capacity, he comes in and put systems that are going to assist us, including the technical assistance and also financial assistance. Where we feel that we have less finances, we have also encouraged our municipalities to apply and also supported them as COCTA to get more funding from the National Treasury. As a government intervention, as we have indicated, we want also to say that we are able to put in place systems that are going to ensure that we monitor in all respects where there are challenges and the progress that we have put where we have put systems in place that it does actually yield the positive result. In conclusion, our government is committed in ensuring that there is clean water access to all, and we are making significant progress despite challenges. We will continue to work tirelessly to improve water quality and provide clean water to the people of KwaZulu-Natal. I said sometimes that caring, if it was a person, it will resemble, Matingwane is resembling that caring character. And we want to encourage him to continue doing what he's doing because he's giving us my apology. Thank you, Honourable Chair.
Thanks very much, Honourable Member. The next speaker is Honourable G. Peters, Western Cape. Pretorius. Thanks.
Thank you, Honourable Chairperson. Good afternoon, Honourable Minister, Honourable members and fellow South Africans. Chairperson, water is the most invaluable resource that sustains us, our communities and the diverse ecosystems that support our existence. Water quality in South Africa affects not only the present but the very future of our great nation. Yet, in vast portions of South Africa, regrettably and completely avoidable, the assurance of clean water and safe water for all remains an unfulfilled promise. The challenge of water quality in South Africa is multifaceted. On the one hand, we are blessed with abundant natural water resources. On the other hand, factors such as pollution, inadequate and poorly maintained and collapsing infrastructure, and gross ANC mismanagement threaten the purity and accessibility of this fundamental resource. Millions of our fellow South Africans, particularly those in rural areas and informal settlements, continue to face the daily burden of contaminated water, unsafe for consumption, and a breeding ground for diseases. It's a fact and a stark reality that the disparities in access to clean water perpetuate cycles of poverty and inequality. The lack of clean water jeopardizes not only health, but also education and economic opportunities. Children fall ill, schools struggle to maintain basic hygiene standards, and communities are unable to thrive due to the absence of a fundamental necessity. Chairperson, as always, amidst these challenges, there is hope. South Africans have the wherewithal, the means, and the ingenuity to effect change to transform this grim reality into a future where everyone has equitable access to clean and safe water. The solution demands a collective, whole-of-society effort, a synergy between government, civil society, private enterprise, and each one of us as responsible citizens. Firstly, it's imperative that investment and innovation in water infrastructure must be prioritized. I will refer to this again later. Upgrading and maintaining water treatment facilities, implementing efficient sanitation systems, and controlling industrial and agricultural pollution are pivotal steps towards ensuring water quality across the nation. Of course, money or funding is required to do this, and we know where the debt situation in this country is going and where the income situation in this country is going. Secondly, Chairperson, education and awareness play a crucial role. Promoting water conservation practices, advocating for responsible usage, and fostering a culture of environmental stewardship can help preserve our water resources for generations to come. It is of the utmost importance to note that empowering local communities with the tools and knowledge to manage their water resources sustainably is indispensable. Chairperson, there's a moral obligation on all South Africans to commit ourselves to this cause. We must hold ourselves accountable, demand transparency and efficient governments in managing our water resources. It's not just a matter of policy, it's a commitment to safeguarding and ensuring the basic rights of our citizens. Against the above background, this House is reminded that the Western Cape has been actively engaged in various initiatives to protect and secure water quality, particularly in response to the challenges of water scarcity and quality issues. And my colleague, Member Bartnos, will elaborate on that later, but I'm just going to list a few of them. The provincial government has launched extensive public awareness campaigns to promote water conservation practices among residents. These campaigns emphasize the importance of responsible water usage and encourage behavioral changes to minimize wastage. Significant investments have been made in water infrastructure, including upgrading water treatment plants, expanding water storage facilities, and improving distribution networks. These efforts aim to ensure better quality and accessibility of water for residents. The province has established robust water quality monitoring systems. Regular testing and monitoring of water resources are conducted to identify and address potential contamination issues promptly. This proactive approach helps in maintaining and improving the quality of water supply to communities. The Western Cape government has been supportive of agricultural practices that use water more efficiently. Encouraging farmers to adopt water-smart agricultural techniques help in reducing water usage and potential contamination from agricultural runoff. The province has also implemented stringent regulations and legislation to protect water quality. These regulations aim to prevent pollution of water resources and enforce compliance with standards to ensure safe and clean water for all residents. Collaborative efforts with local communities, NGOs, and the private sector have been fostered to address water quality issues collectively. Engaging communities in water stewardship programs and partnerships with various stakeholders have been crucial in promoting sustainable water management practices. The Western Cape has also invested in research and innovation related to water quality. This includes exploring new technologies and methodologies for water treatment, pollution prevention, and sustainable water resource management. Chairperson, I'm delighted to share with you that in yet another example of forward planning and innovation, the Mayor of Cape Town, Jordan Hill-Lewis, announced just yesterday the city's international water reuse conversation with mayors and deputy mayors from, amongst others, cities like Perth, Los Angeles, Nairobi, Windhoek, Gqeberha, and towns like George and Beaufort West. In this regard, the city of Cape Town will add 300 million litres of clean water per day from new resources by 2030, including water reuse, seawater desalination, and aquifer extraction. Of course, one would like to see many more cities and towns in South Africa benefiting from this initiative. Collectively, the above represents and is an example of what we call in South Africa, or what we call the DA difference. Chairperson, the DA envisions a South Africa where every faucet flows with clean water, where every child can drink water without fear, and where communities can flourish because they have access to the fundamental human right that is clean water. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Honourable Peterson. Thanks very much, Honourable Member. Honourable Members, we continue with our speakers list. I would like to call Honourable Deprane, FF+, Honourable Deprane.
Thank you, House Chair. Honourable House Chair, on the website of the Department of Water and Sanitation, under the About Us or the mission statement, the following is written, and I quote, "Our mission is to serve the people of South Africa by making a positive impact on our country and its people as custodians of our water and sanitation resources, and as an innovative and committed partners to drive for the sustainable development. And also to be service delivery orientated, we strive to getting it right the first time, every time, on time, ensuring that our citizens are provided with water and sanitation services they deserve. Close quote. Now, as Chair, well, this sounds very good on paper. Millions of South Africans unfortunately experience the opposite. And we have heard several examples of this today. And just to give a few more, in the Kopanong local municipality, people have been without or with minimal access to water literally for years now. In February 2022, almost 2 years ago, the water supply was restricted to 30% due to non-payment and debt of more than 650 million rand. A year and a half later, the provincial government only intervened, and to this day, still no changes has been done. On the contrary, last year, it went from bad to worse. So, Chairperson, apparently the mission statement of the department does not apply to the almost 50,000 people living in the Kopanong municipality. Currently, in the Mangaung Metro, water losses due to leakages and unmetered water stands at more than 52%. This while the Metro owes Bloem Water, or the now Vaal Central Water, more than 700 million rand, and parts of the Metro are without water for weeks on end. In every single municipality in the Free State, the situation is the same. And it is not because of the fact that South Africa is a water-scarce country, or because of apartheid, or any of the usual excuses that we hear from the ANC government. It is because of a lack of governance, skills, and political will. Maar voorsitter, ek het onlangs in 'n geskrewe vraag aan die minister van Omgewingsake gevra of sy bewus is van die feit dat Rowrywil gestort word in die Gariepdam, wat die impak daarvan is en wat haar departement gaan doen aan die situasie. Sy het kortliks geantwoord dat sy wel bewus is daarvan, maar al vir 2 jaar, en dat sy dit sal verwys na departemente soos Kogta en Water en Sanitasie, omdat sy niks daaraan kan doen nie. So basically, Honourable Chairperson, what the Minister of DFFE is saying to us is that the pollution of the biggest dam in South Africa is simply not a problem. I have forwarded the same question to the Ministers of Kogta and DWS, and still has not received any answers, clearly showing their lack of commitment to securing and preserving sustainable water sources. Now, Chairperson, what is the use of environmental and other laws if the ministers and their departments can't even make sure that these laws are being implemented? Instead, they pull up their shoulders and shift the blame. Voorsitter, nie een enkele rioolsuiweringsaanleg in die Vrystaat is tans 100% funksionerend. En vir jare aan een kyk ons hoe Rowrywil ons riviere, damme en ons spruite besoedel. Jaar na jaar word begroot vir die instandhouding, opgradering en die oprig van nuwe infrastruktuur. Maar in die laaste 30 jaar is al wat ons gesien het, is agteruitgang en die verval, ten koste van die belastingbetaler wat hierdie begrotings finansier. Voorsitter, ons kiesers in ons gemeenskap hulle al vir te lank onder 'n tekort aan skoon water en sanitasie. Dit is 'n reg wat in ons grondwet vasgelê is, en dit is 'n reg wat nie benadeel mag word nie. Maar tog doen die ANC-regering presies dit. Die feit dat talle Suid-Afrikaners nog steeds nie toegang tot skoon water het nie, is 'n skande, agbare voorsitter. En die feit dat riool daagliks deur die strate van elke liewe woonbuurt in hierdie land vloei, is nog 'n groter skande, agbare voorsitter. Voorsitter, verlede jaar met ons provinsiale week het ons die Mangaung, Massalyana en die Kopanong munisipaliteite besoek. En jy kan vir enige een van die Vrystaatse afvaardiging vra, selfs die ANC-lede, of hulle tevrede was met wat hulle daar gesien het. Die antwoord sal verseker wees, nee. Ons kon in hierdie 3 munisipaliteite nie een enkele rioolsuiweringsaanleg kry wat funksionerend is. In elke liewe geval het ons gesien hoe Rowrywil ons spruite en riviere besoedel, terwyl amptenare met verwarde gesiggies rondstaan en probeer om verskonings uit te dink. In Springfontein het ons vir meer as 'n halfuur gesoek na die aanleg, en dit was duidelik dat die amptenare so lanklaas daar was, dat hulle self nie eers seker was oor hoe om daar uit te kom. Dit, agbare voorsitter, dit is hoe belaglik dit nou al is. En die hartseer van die saak, voorsitter, is dat nou al meer as 'n jaar later, en in plaas daarvan om hierdie belaglikhede aan te spreek, het die munisipaliteit onder die oorsig van DWS en Kogta absoluut niks daaraan gedoen nie, en die situasie is nou erger as ooit tevore. Maar daar word van ons verwag, ons moet nou vandag hier sit en luister, hoe die ANC sy effektiewe suksesse wil staan en smous en te kenne wil gee, dat hy die ANC-regering in die belang van sy mense optree. Niemand glo dit nie meer, voorsitter, nie eens al probeer ons om dit te doen. Chairperson, regarding water and sanitation, the fact is simply this. Millions of South Africans are still not enjoying their right to have access to clean water and a healthy and safe environment. According to the latest census, 11 million people in South Africa still don't have access to piped water today. and 48% of all households in the country reported that they experienced water interruptions of 2 or more days on a regular basis. Almost 30% of the population today still don't have access to a flushing toilet, with more than 11 million people making use of pit toilets. Now, this, Honourable Chair, doesn't reflect the fairy tale of success the ANC is propagating. This reflects the inability of the ANC government to govern in the best interest of South Africans. It reflects the lack of skills in our municipalities, our departments, and it reflects the fact that in 30 years, the ANC could not even maintain the infrastructure that they have inherited, let alone provide new infrastructure to a rapidly growing population. The horror novels of the Blue and the Green Drop reports, Honourable Chair, confirms this, and it is proof that no efforts are being made by the ANC government to ensure the sustainable supply of clean water to the people of South Africa. And Chairperson, we must acknowledge that clean water is not solely a luxury, but it is a basic human right. The government has a moral obligation to provide citizens with access to safe and clean drinking water. Unfortunately, the reality, Chair, is that millions of South Africans still lack access to clean water, especially in rural areas. And this is a clear indication that the government's failure in fulfilling its responsibility. And the failure to do so is a violation of the fundamental human rights of South Africans and the abandonment of their duty to govern responsibly. Honourable Chairperson, 30 years of ANC destruction is long enough. South Africans deserve the basic luxury of clean water.
Reconstruction, not destruction. Reconstruction.
No, sorry, Honourable Chair, it is destruction, regardless of what the Honourable Member has just said. But regardless, South Africans deserve service delivery, and they deserve an environment that is not overflowing with sewage and polluting our water sources. South Africans deserve an ANC-free government. And after the elections next year, South Africa will get what they deserve, a government for the people. Honourable Chairperson, we can list hundreds of solutions for this issue, but it will make no difference if we don't solve the biggest problem South Africa faces today, and that is the curse that is the ANC. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Honourable Dupree.
Honourable Chair, point of order.
What a point of order, sir?
Honourable Chair, I rise on a point of order. The members that are online shouldn't use the fact that they're not in the House as a license to interject when one of our people are speaking online. They must not interject, because they must raise a point of order and tell you what the rule number is, please.
What is the point of order there?
Honourable Member, I would like to continue with the list because I didn't hear the point of order from the Honourable Member. What does he mean? Honourable Member, can we continue? Please stop disturbing me. Honourable Members, I would like now to recognize Honourable Mkunu, Minister of Water and Sanitation. Honourable Mkunu, what a point of order, say.
Chairperson, I'd like to just refer you to a ruling made by the Chairperson, Honourable Masondo. It was a week ago, or perhaps 10 days ago, when a member in the House over there was using his microphone to interject. So that's over and above normal heckling. And the ruling was made by the Chairperson that that was not allowed. Heckling is allowed, we understand that, but using the microphone to amplify is not fair. Now, what I'm saying to you right now, you can hear it. The moment somebody unmutes themselves, that is exactly the same as somebody turning on the microphone in the House to amplify their voice. And all we're saying, Chairperson, is let's just be civil to each other and say you can't unmute yourself and just interject. I think it's fair, it's reasonable, Chairperson. That's all I'm saying. You see, once again, Chairperson, you and I are having a conversation and somebody's trying to interject. That is rude, Chairperson. That's all. I'm just calling for civility, Chairperson.
You have raised your point. There's no need for you to make a lot of speeches. And honourable members, I wanted to remind you, all of you, because you like to make noise and hit the person we can't hear each other. So let us stop, all of us. And I did take a ruling that we continue with our speakers list. because you are all doing like this as if you are children. Meanwhile, you are honorable members. Yes. Ndilithathile ruling lana angeke ngilongiphinda-phinda into eyenzwa yini. You see what you are doing now? Can you see what you are doing now? You are speaking, I'm speaking.
For the record,
No,
I respectfully asked you
Sit
for
down,
an opportunity
honorable
to speak.
Sit down, I didn't
I've
recognize
asked
you.
The other person is just pressing the unmute button, now being the rude
Sit
one.
down, honorable member.
Chairperson, you are completely
Sit
out of
down
line.
and I'll take a ruling for you right now.
Go for it.
If you don't want you to listen and undermine me, I'll take a ruling.
I would like to
Yes.
report you to the ethics committee.
Can you please sit down, ma'am? Baba, sit down. Thank you. Aibo. Who? Honorable members, can we continue? I would like to recognize Honorable S. Mkunu, Minister of Water and Sanitation. Over to you, Babu Mkunu.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair and the honorable members of the NCOP. I would like to confine myself to issues of water quality in South Africa as opposed to access and other issues, while respecting that they are important issues. Now, number one, just on drinking water, in terms of drinking water, or rather, maybe let me start like this. On the 5th of December, that is next month, the department will release a full 2023 Blue Drop report. All along, we've been working on a watch report that we published earlier on, but we'll now reach a stage for a full report on the Blue Drop. This will be a complete assessment of the state of drinking water system in the country, together with the No Drop report on water use efficiency, and lastly, the Green Drop progress report, which will focus on critical risk areas in terms of wastewater treatment works in South Africa as a whole. Those reports are coming on the 5th of this month, of next month. The green, blue, and No Drop certification programs are tools that we use as a country after we resuscitated them in 2021, so that the public and authorities equally would be open to all the issues that relate to water and relate to treatment plant and so on. And because we felt that it was important to do so, to be transparent. Now, largely, we want to say that the constitutional responsibility on all these matters, provision of water, clean water to residents, and then managing treatment plants in compliance with regulations, but also reducing the No Drop to within compliance is the duty of municipalities in the country. Now, the full reports measure and compare the results of their performance on water services institutions, and subsequently rewards or penalties where they apply to the institutions based on evidence of excellence or failures when measured against the defined standards and based on the entire system, including distribution and or collection networks and all the other related works. Now, we take these reports, the release of these reports next month, very seriously, and we'll use that as a baseline going forward. Now, in terms of drinking water, 144 water services authorities were audited, covering 958 water supply systems across the country, including 7 water ports, 9 during the audit period, and then 7 recently, and 23 water service providers. The full results will be made available on 5 December, as we indicate. Now, for microbiological compliance, 46 systems audited were found to be compliant in terms of the Water Services Act and the South African National Standards Designs 241. These municipalities were required to issue advisory notices of their customers to their customers, informing them of the associated risks.
As you conclude.
Okay. Now, what we want to say in conclusion is that we are concerned about issues where there is a failure or decline, but we are working with municipalities via a number of interventions. And the new intervention will be where we separate water authorities from water service providers. We're making progress.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Your time is over.
Thank you.
Honourable Sheikh, ANC.
Thank you very much, Honourable Chairperson. Greetings to the Minister, members of the Executive Council, and all honourable members. Honourable Chairperson, there is a general consensus around the world that research and innovation are key components to driving sustainable growth and development in any society through creating new technologies and processes to treat water and sanitation outputs, and most importantly, to improve people's quality of life. South Africa, as a signatory to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, especially Goal 6 relating to access to water and sanitation for all, demands that the ANC-led government take action to ensure that we achieve the goal that we have agreed to and those in our National Development Plan 2030. We are convinced that through research and innovation, our country will be able to improve its response to the current challenges relating to the provision of quality water that is safe and clean to drink, while we secure water for future generations. But members, we have an important responsibility to ensure that the Department of Water and Sanitation makes available more funding for the Water Research Commission to undertake its mandate of producing quality research, innovation, and technologies. We agree with our colleagues in the Portfolio Committee on Water and Sanitation when they recommend to the Department of Water and Sanitation during the budget vote process to increase funding for the Water Research Commission. We believe that knowledge production through quality research is critical for the development of our society, and that the research process is costly and takes a long time to produce quality results. The Water Research Commission is one of the best managed public entities within the water sector and has produced a number of clean audits over the years. However, it is one entity that has not seen any real inflation in terms of budget allocations. Instead, it has received slight increases. Honourable members, we call upon the Department of Water and Sanitation to not only increase the funding for the Water Research Commission, but also to utilize its research outputs to ensure that our government makes scientifically informed policies and decision-making, especially when the impact of climate change has become a live experience of people's daily lives. Honourable Chairperson, as the African National Congress, we are convinced that through research and innovation, our country would stand a better chance of ensuring improved water quality, and through new technologies, the government can guarantee water security for all our people, including future generations. Honourable members, President Ramaphosa acknowledged the majority of our water services authorities lack the critical skills needed to maintain, repair, and renovate the current water infrastructure that our ANC-led government has rolled out. We call upon the department to send personnel with critical skills to struggling water services authorities. As the African National Congress in this August House, we support the proposal for a short to medium-term solution to ensure that our communities continue to receive quality, safe, and clean drinking water while ensuring water security. As all of us here now know that we are a water-scarce country. We further wish to make the submission that our government should not only provide seconded personnel to struggling municipalities, but must also make a concerted effort to increase the number of people in our country who possess the critical skills needed to ensure continuous water supply to communities. The Department of Water and Sanitation and local municipalities need to continue to make funding available to all learners and students who wish to further their studies in water and sanitation related qualifications, and further make available in-service training and internships once they are finished with their academic studies. Honourable members, we further wish to call upon local municipalities to establish working relations with CETAs and technical colleges that operate within the water and sanitation sector for the transfer of skills to local municipalities, while the latter responds to the skills demands of water and the sanitation sector. Honourable members, although the provision of water and sanitation is a primary responsibility of the democratic government, and which has limited resources as compared to that of the private sector, there should be a public-private partnership to address the financing gap and the mass production of new technologies. We have learned that one of the difficulties the Water Research Commission faces is that once they develop a new technology, their mandate does not permit them to conduct mass production of the new technology, because it is an expensive venture that the private sector can undertake. Therefore, we urge the government to use public-private partnerships to advance new technologies and goods for use in our nation's economy and adaptation by the government in building water infrastructure. Our members of the African National Congress, we believe that the mass production of these new water and sanitation technologies will contribute to job creation and economic growth in the country, while also contributing towards quality, safe and clean drinking water for all our people, irrespective of social status, race, gender and creed. Honourable Chairperson, as a water-scarce country, we should take advantage of the technologies associated with the Fourth Industrial Revolution. As advocates for the Fourth Industrial Revolution and its adaptation in our country, including our own President, the Honourable Ramaphosa, we have argued that technologies associated with the Fourth Industrial Revolution, especially in the water industry, are gaining momentum. We believe the application of big data technology can assist our government not only in understanding climate change trends, but also detecting ecosystem changes, forecasting natural tragedies, and providing quick responses to those natural disasters. We have heard from the Department of Water and Sanitation that we are losing close to 40% of clean drinking water due to water leakages. We have learned that if our government can use artificial intelligence to address water losses, we as a country would be in a better position to reduce water wastage. According to the World Economic Forum, the Fourth Industrial Revolution technologies have the potential to assemble more complete, current, and accessible information on water supply and demand. Satellite imagery and other Earth observation tools are delivering profound new insights on water supply in various parts of the world where conventional ground-based methods to measure water supply are not feasible or practical. In short, many countries around the world have seen the benefit of applying Fourth Industrial Revolution technologies, and these benefits could also be enjoyed in our country as well. We understand the skepticism of our people when it comes to the adaptation of new technologies and the issue of job security. These benefits are real. The government can use artificial intelligence and machine learning to acquire water historical data, making it easier to protect water infrastructure risks and inform replacement plans in real time, while optimizing capital, revenue, and operating costs to promote quality, safe, and clean drinking water for all our people. On members as public representatives, whether at the national, provincial, or local sphere of government, we have a responsibility to inform our people that the resources to finance the expansion of the water infrastructure have to come from the people who can afford to pay for the services, while the government withdrew an equitable share pay on behalf of the unemployed and the vulnerable. As the African National Congress, we have taken a decision to encourage all South Africans that are in this position to pay for services to kindly do so in order for the democratic government to be able to pay for the rolling out of water infrastructure and also maintain, repair, and refurbish the existing water infrastructure. Honourable Chair, we are confident that our people will respond to our call and will pay for the services rendered by the democratic government. To conclude, Honourable Chair, indeed, the ANC government has made considerable strides in providing water access to our people, particularly in rural areas ignored by a racist apartheid system. The census data has shown great improvements in water access in these areas. While the DA gloats on more access to piped water in the Western Cape, this does not translate in access to clean water in black areas such as Khayelitsha and Gugulethu, which is in stark contrast to their plush, largely white suburbs. I'm not sure what hope the nation is expected to see in this. Honourable Chair, the Cape ANC government has made a commitment, also based on census data, to continue improving water provision and providing water for those that government has not reached yet. I thank you very much, Honourable Chair.
Thanks very much, Honourable Member. Honourable Patterson, DA.
Honourable Chairperson, Honourable Minister, Honourable Members and fellow South Africans, good day. Today I'm reminded by two powerful quotes. The first is by a famous poet, W.H. Auden, who said, "Thousands have lived without love, not one without water." The second is from Thomas Fuller, an African-American shipped as a slave in 1724, who said, "We never know the worth of water till the well is dry." The DA-run Western Cape government has taken much of the lessons learned from the 2015-2019 drought to craft best practices around water security and climate resilience to assist municipalities, farmers, and industries, especially in light of a growing population and economy in our province. These lessons learned has been instrumental in the compilation of the 15-year Western Cape Integrated Drought and Water Response Plan, which was developed in 2022. It is a groundbreaking tool to shift the focus from drought response towards water resilience in our province. Colleagues, the main objectives of this plan are to allow timely planning and implementations of interventions towards water security, support integrated and coordinated provincial drought response and planning, align short and medium-term interventions with long-term planning horizons of 15 years, support the Western Cape Sustainable Water Management Plan goal number 2, which is secure water availability, building additional adaptive capacity and improving water resilience. Manage and mitigate drought impacts and enhance resilience across sectors, municipal supply, agriculture, and industries. Unlike the ANC government, which has proven to be very idea-rich and implementation poor, the Western Cape DA-run government has a wealth of ideas and is equally well off in the implementation thereof. The Western Cape Integrated Drought and Response Plan has in fact already been proven in practice. The quick response from the Department of Local Government to assist Western Cape municipalities with backup generators to ensure continued operation of critical water and wastewater treatment facilities during rolling blackouts is a case in point. In an answer to a written question earlier this year from myself to the Minister of Water and Sanitation on whether the department is planning to assist local municipalities by providing an exemption from blackouts to critical infrastructure, the response was that it would be the responsibility of each local municipality to put emergency measures into place. In case you forgot, Minister, it was question 143. With many municipalities in the Western Cape not able to burden their residents with additional costs of procuring generators, the DA-run Western Cape government is currently providing more than 88 million rands worth of generators as strategic and key installations, as well as roaming generators for emergency deployment where needed through an emergency municipal load-shedding relief grant. The funding model is based on a partnership which includes district and local municipalities taking the responsibility for maintenance, transport costs, and diesel. 12 local municipalities have already spent 100% of their allocation to procure generators, 9 have awarded tenders and are awaiting delivery, and 8 municipalities are busy with supply chain processes. the City of Cape Town's Potsdam wastewater treatment plant and the Paarl wastewater treatment plant in the Drakenstein municipality are but two shining examples of how good governance leads to investment in infrastructure critical to the health and well-being of residents and nature by balancing the ever-growing needs for non-potable water by industry. Capital expenditure upgrades at the Potsdam and Paarl wastewater treatment plants exceeds 5 billion and 1.3 billion rands respectively. Initiatives like these underline the DA-run Western Cape's commitment to providing residents with quality water regardless of the obstacles that are put in its way, particularly the ANC-sponsored load shedding. My colleagues in the NCOP might be surprised to hear me say that there is, in fact, examples of municipalities in the Western Cape where all is not going so well when it comes to supply of basic services like clean, potable water and refuse removal to their residents. Surprise, surprise. Those municipalities are, for example, the Knysna municipality, which has got an ANC Patriotic Alliance EFF coalition of corruption that is bringing that town to the brink of collapse and bankruptcy. One can only imagine what the voters will do to rectify this at the first available opportunity. Now, Honourable Sithole Moloi, the MEC from KZN, maybe you should focus on reducing the loss of 50% of water in eThekwini's Metro's pipes before you come to this house to lecture us on clean water. You don't need government intervention in KwaZulu-Natal. You need a voter intervention. Honourable Ndlovu, yes, thank you very much. You know as well as I do that no government grant will assist in upgrading water infrastructure when it is the misappropriation by corrupt ANC municipalities before residents can benefit from it that is causing the problems.
As you conclude.
As I conclude, I would like to leave you with one thought. Water is a basic human right, but it does not only hydrate our bodies, Honourable Chair. It also nourishes the roots of human dignity. And the voters that are battling at the moment to get access to clean water will remember that dignity when they approach the ballot boxes in 2024. Viva DA. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Honourable E.M. Mthethwa, ANC.
Ngiyabonga sihlalo umhlangano ngibingelela kubo bonke abahlonishwa abakhulumile phambi kwami nabo bonke laba in the house. Honourable Chair, I will try to cover up a number of issues that the minister have also not have captured. The issue of the fast-tracking the process of the NWRIA bill, and I will also cover the issue of the infrastructure chair and the long-term investment, and I will also cover the issue, Chair, as to how far the government have gone through these matters. Honourable Chair, towards the establishment of the National Water Resources Infrastructure Agency as an all-encompassing the institution to drive the government effort and responsibility to provide water that is safe, clean, and conserved water to guarantee water security. Honourable Chair Ngwenya, the first democratical parliament in our country adopted a very progressive constitution that not only recognizes the first generation rights, such as the right to life and others, but it also included the second and the third generation rights, which is socio-economical rights and environmental rights, respectively. In the other words, Honourable Chair, our democratic constitution sought to ensure that South African citizens are provided with basic and services such as access to safe and clean drinking water and living environments free from the pollution. Section 27, subclause 1, Chair, of our Constitution guarantee the right of everyone to have access to the sufficient water, and Parliament should take responsible legislative measure to give effective to the rights, and it has done so through the enhancement of the various pieces of the legislation, which include the Water Services Act of 108 of 1997 and the National Water Act 36 of 1998, Chair. Honorable members, Section 3, Subclause 1 of Water Services Act stated that everyone has a right of access to the basic water supply and basic sanitation. Section 3, Subclause 2 of the Water Services Act state that every water services institution must take responsible measure to realize to realize these rights. Democratic government had established a number of public entities, such as Water Board, catchment management agencies, to give effect to this Section 3, Subclause 2 of the Water Services Act. There had been a growing realization, Chair, that the water challenges facing the country needed a single entity in the forms of the proposed National Water Resources Infrastructure Agency that will be an all-encompassing institution to drive the government effort and responsibility to provide that is safe and clean and conserved to guarantee water security. Honorable Chair, Honorable Chairperson Ngwenya, and members, we should always take keen interest in the legislative processes taking place within the National Assembly. In particular, when they propose a new legislation seek to transform our society, enable our democratical government to deliver the quality basic services. Since the establishment of the Democratic Parliament and the National Council of Provinces, the ANC-led government has always introduced the legislation that seeks to transform the legacy of colonialism and apartheid and address the triple challenges of the inequality, poverty, and unemployment. This is the case with the proposed National Water Resources Infrastructure Agencies, which as an African National Congress in this August House, we are going to consider once the Portfolio Committee on Water and Sanitation that is led by Comrade Tebogo and the National Assembly completed their processing of this important piece of the legislation. Honorable Chairperson and honorable members, it is our considerate view as the African National Congress that the proposed agency by the ANC-led government will address some of the water challenges faced by the local municipalities in the provision of quality, safe and clean and drinking water while ensuring water security for all. Honorable Chair, to address the various water infrastructure challenges in the country, it is estimated that the government will need to invest at least 330 billion rands over the next 10 years to ensure that there is a major infrastructure refurbishment and improvement maintenance. As the President Ramaphosa has highlighted, the majorities of the country's local municipality tasked with the responsibility of delivering water services are not in a position to do so, as they are either dysfunctional or financially distressed. The financially distressed local municipality either have low revenue collection share because they are situated in a poor community or as a result of poor financial management, act of fraud and other issues like corruption. In short, many local municipalities are not credit worthy and are in no position to raise the required funds to be able to invest in the rolling out massive water infrastructure. And even worse, they are unable to operate and fix, repairs and maintains or refurbish the existing water infrastructure in their respective localities. Honorable Chair, it is important to note that municipalities are owned more than 13 billion rands for water and sanitation services rendered to both households and businesses. We agree with the Honorable Sheikh that in order for a local municipality to continue providing high quality services like water that is safe and clean for human consumption, we as public representatives need to encourage our community to pay for the service they receive. It is everyone's responsibility, Chair, to pay for the service that is being rendered. As the African National Congress Chair, we believe that the proposed National Water Resources Infrastructure Agencies will be in a better position to raise funds to develop national water resources infrastructure for social and economical development purposes. In short, Chair, the agency will ensure that we do not have water infrastructure across the country, but we will ensure sustainable, equitable, and reliable supply of water from national water resources infrastructure. Chairperson, the 2023 report from the Auditor General, which was tabled before the Committee on Water and Sanitation, stated that poor contractor performance was the cause of the department's waste infrastructure challenges. The AGSA report further highlighted, Chair, the inability of local municipalities to internalize them and manage and operate water infrastructure effectively. The AG report also highlighted, Chair, that some projects undertaken by the department have been delayed due to the lack of supervision of contractors, poor project management, and inadequate supply chain management processes. In addition, the report highlighted the department's shortcoming related to its lack of central planning and coordination of the various water infrastructure projects. All significant water and sanitation infrastructure projects that the ANC-led government implements across the country will be subject to the central planning and coordination thanks to the proposed agency. Furthermore, Chair, the object of the bill states that the agency will provide and operate and maintain national water resources infrastructure and fund the cost thereof, which currently water services authorities have failed to do. Honorable Chair, we have heard in the debate today in this August House that many of the water services authority or local municipalities do not have the staff complement with the necessary competence to manage and operate the various water infrastructures. We have been told that due to the demands and competitiveness of the labor market of critical skills, many government institutions are unable to attract and retain people with the necessary qualification and technical expertise to ensure that the Water Services Authority are able to provide community with quality and safe, clean drinking water while ensuring water security for all. Over the years, Chair, of existence, the Train Caledon Channel Authority has been able to attract and retain a labor forces with the necessary qualification and technical expertise because of its ability to offer remuneration that is in line with the market. The establishment of this agency will ensure that workforce will provide technical expert advice and support to all water services authority to guarantee the clean water and ensure security. Honorable Chair, water losses are really threats to our water security. Either in the year, the Department of Water and Sanitation reported that loss of 40% of clean water is being lost as a result of water leaks. In short, Chair, as a country, we have challenge with water management. We have also highlighted some of these challenges that are that enable poor water management, and we will not repeat them. Hence, and except to say that there is a need to improve water management to guarantee the water security for all. That's what Honourable Mloyi was talking about. As the African National Congress, we are confident that once the agency is established, it will ensure that water governance and management are improved through fixing and aging and broken water infrastructure to guarantee the water security. Coming to the closure, Chair, among us, here is this in this August House, they have already rejected the proposed agencies. As long as the ANC-led government is in charge of our national black majority, the right-wing opposition parties, in particular the Freedom Front Plus and the Democratic Alliance, will never appreciate, Chair, the effort made to provide high quality and secured clean drinking water for our people. This right-wing opposition party forgot that it was the ANC-led government that introduced the green and the blue drops program to demonstrate the commitment of this government to ensure that water quality meets the UNI standard and that agreement that we are signatory. In attempt, Chair, as I conclude, as the ANC African National Congress, we believe that establishment of National Water Resources Infrastructure Agency will ensure that the ANC-led government is able to provide quality, safe, clean drinking water while ensuring that the government efforts and responsibility towards ensuring water security for all South Africans. I thank you, Ngwenya.
Thanks very much, Nyambose. Honourable De Praying, FF Plus.
Thank you, Honourable Chairperson. Honourable Chairperson, obviously the last speaker did not read through the blue and green drop reports, otherwise his opinion may have differed. But nonetheless, Chairperson, I'm glad that the Honourable Tebogo has admitted to the fact that the country experiences severe challenges regarding water. Unfortunately, Chairperson, those are empty words. We have been hearing those same words for 30 years now with no change and no solutions. And I believe the Honourable Tebogo when he says that the ANC government will continue to invest money in water and sanitation infrastructure. The only problem is, Honourable Chair, that nobody ever sees where that money goes or any value for that money, since we are still in dire need of new infrastructure and all the money has disappeared. The Honourable Williams has stated that ensuring access to clean water is paramount to the dignity of our people. Even though it is his party that is responsible for depriving our people of water and their dignity. And that, Honourable Chair, that seems to be a typical ANC line of thought, but let's leave it there. The Minister of Water and Sanitation, once again, has just stated that the department is aware of the challenges and that the turnaround strategies are in place. Now, Honourable Chairperson, if I can give the Minister some food for thought, if his department did what it was mandated to do in the first place, turnaround strategies and interventions wouldn't be necessary. The Chairperson, in short, the ANC cannot deny that they are the ones responsible for the lack of basic services like access to clean water and sanitation. It is the ANC government that did not expand the infrastructure to meet the demand of a growing population. Of the more than 500 dams we currently have in South Africa, only one dam, the De Hoop Dam, was built in the last 30 years, even though the population grew by almost 20 million people over the same period. Now that, Honourable Chair, That is not the fault of global warming or apartheid or anyone else's fault. It is the fault of the ANC government. 90% of the infrastructure that we are relying on today was built before 1994. And the ANC is merely trying to hide its incompetence by trying to blame apartheid and anyone and everything else for their failures. Luckily, Honourable Chair, the majority of the people of South Africa's eyes are opening. They are experiencing and they are living the ANC lie every single day. The people of South Africa were being fooled for long enough, Honourable Chair, and the ANC will realize this coming the elections next year. The ANC's time has expired, and I suggest that they start to learn to cope with that fact. After next year's election, the coalition government will show the people of South Africa the true meaning of a government that cares for its people. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thanks very much, Honourable Member. Honourable members, I would like to thank the Minister, Permanent Delegate, MEC, and all special delegates for availing themselves for the sitting. Honourable Delegate, that concludes the business of the day. The House is adjourned.
Thank you, Mama.
And the ANC remain corrupt.
Recording stopped.
Hello. Yes. I'm finding you.
Boss Mithi ba Papa, wait.
Colleagues, good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Afternoon, Advocate.
Yes, can I have procedural officers and advisors and Mr. Mula